On each episode of Around in Durango, we visit a local Durango business and talk with a special guest about what's happening in this great town of ours.
Today we're at Bookcase and Barber talking with owners Beau and Jenna Black. We'll also be talking with Manna's Soup Kitchen Director Ann Morse and Chef Seanan Culloty about what they've been up to in our community.
How's it going? Good to see you guys. Thanks for having us. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah.
It is such a pleasure to be here with you, Beau and Jenna, at your beautiful Bookcase and Barber. I love our hometown speakeasy.
Aw, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about how it came to be? What was the inspiration of creating this little gem?
So we both worked in the restaurant industry for a long time, and we actually sat down and did a tasting at Season's, and they did classic cocktails. And that was kind of like the kickstart on the whole cocktail thing for us. And we should do a cocktail bar in Durango, because that's one thing that town was lacking. And
Durango loves our cocktails.
Yes. Durango enjoys cocktails.
Yeah,
so we set off to do that, and it was kind of a whirlwind. We were walking around town trying to find out the perfect location, and walked past this bookstore. And it kind of just fell into our laps. We walked in the front door, and the lady was actually hanging up the phone, and she goes, "You look like you guys mean business. You want to buy this place?" And we said, "Well, we're not so interested in a bookstore, but we're interested in doing a bar." And she's like, "Well, it's time for me to retire. I got some grandkids to hang out with."
Signed a lease a month later.
Yep.
Wow.
And we're in.
Nuts. So it was just like meant to be.
A lot of people have been through these doors, just looking at books and antiques, and we decided to keep going with that. And that's where we get a lot of the inspiration for the menu, is through authors and their favorite cocktails.
And are the books that you have here, did they come from the store?
Yeah,
There's
a lot of the books
things around here from the store.
Yeah.
Because I used to go to that store back when you used to buy actual books. You still buy actual books, but
I do still buy
but you
actual
know, it's
books.
pretty neat seeing all of these books around and the inspiration for the names of the cocktails and all the pictures and everything. It's really cool how you've integrated those ideas.
Yeah, we wanted to set out to, like I said, do a cocktail bar, but also have a place where people can meet and enjoy conversation, and we still get people that come in on a daily basis that will sit in the corner and read a book.
I don't know if you know this, but I used to be a bartender, and I could make like 20 drinks, and those 20 drinks were like gin and tonic, rum and Coke, like the recipe was in the name, right? And so there's no way I could do what you guys do, and that whole thing, it's like being a fine chef.
A lot of people are getting back into the classic cocktails. Being a speakeasy, we do prohibition-style cocktails, very boozy drinks. 1, maybe 2 would be good for a night. For me, coming from a kitchen, it's that next step to, you're using fresh ingredients and you're building these cocktails that have multiple ingredients, and it's all about the freshness and what you're actually using.
Who thinks of these names? Because I love looking through this, and I know some are named after authors. You have the Hemingway, and I love the part 1, the daiquiri, and part 2, Death in the Afternoon.
Right.
How
and those
fun.
were actually cocktails those authors drank when they were alive. We put a lot of research into that, I think, at the beginning, and so that's really special.
Watching someone create a cocktail here is literally like watching a fine chef go to town and make this creation.
It's a work of art.
You know what I love that they'll do for you too? Like sometimes this is pretty overwhelming, and they'll say, "What do you like? What do you enjoy when you're looking for a cocktail?" And they'll create it for you. Then you get to name it, and then we have a whole little box right over there where we have those ingredients. We can always make.
I can name my own
yeah.
cocktail?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
That is
Let's
awesome.
do that today.
We need to do that. I had the Christina beer brew.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now you
Yeah,
need to
you're
have,
like,
that's
not fair.
So now you have to have a cocktail
Totally not
here.
fair that I
This is
don't
more
have
appropriate for you to have
Nobody's
a whiskey
ever named
cocktail.
anything after me. Tell us about the barber, because that's the other part of this. I mean, who decided to connect those two ideas?
That's a fun deal. So being a speakeasy, you have to have a legit business to hide your bar. So
The front.
yes,
they
the
call it.
front.
Yeah.
And
Can you launder money through that, or is that legal?
So I knew Pedro for a while before we started doing this, and we're tossing around the ideas of stuff to do, and a barber shop, like a real old-fashioned barber shop, is kind of something that Durango needed. Tons of salons around town, and they do a great job, but we needed a good barber in town. So I talked to Pedro, and I was like, "What do you think?" And he was on board day 1. So
What's really nice about it is that when you come in and get your hair cut, you also might partake in some of the offerings of the bar simultaneously, which got me in the door. I mean, I was all about it.
Some people who get their haircut don't understand that there's a bar back here, so it's exciting when
It's
that
a
door opens up
bonus.
and they're, what's going on back there?
All this talk about cocktails has inspired something in me. What do you say? What do you say we maybe try one or two or three?
People always come in and they ask, how do you grow a beard? Like, I've been trying for years, and I say, drink whiskey. Today we have one of our original cocktails. It's called the Tom Selleck. It is the third cocktail in the series that we do. It's called the Harry Houdini series, starting with the Harry Houdini, Burt Reynolds, Tom Selleck, and Werewolves of London. All those things that have in common there are that each cocktail, you get a little bit hairier, a little more hair on the chest. Werewolves of London would definitely be the top one in that list.
So I'm gonna look a little like you after this.
Yes.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
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 Oh, that is delicious. Oh. Very good. Thank you guys so much for being here and talking about Manna. I really just thank you so much for taking your time, and you've done so much already in the community, and I'm so excited. Like, this is the dream team here. And tell us a little bit about what you have going on, and talked about your transition from chef at Ken and Sue's and now at Manna, and you've just been around in the community so much, and getting to have this chance to be executive director and just taking this to the next level. Tell us about what's happening.
I feel very fortunate to be at Manna. It kind of puts a lot of different things that I've done in the past kind of together. So when this job came up, it was just the perfect fit. And to have Seanan by my side, working hard, and he's just been such a joy and pleasure to have.
So with my transition, it's been really nice. I'm going from being at Ken and Sue's, like a high volume, fast-paced restaurant, to kind of like, in a way, kind of stepping back from that. And it's always very rewarding to cook for anybody. You can always put a smile on someone's face, but to be able to do that to someone who like truly needs food is something special, and that's really rewarding for me. And
yeah. It's amazing to see how many people donate, food. I know that there's things from James Ranch, from Bread Bakery. I mean, tell me about some of the things and you have your own garden as well.
Yeah, so we have our own Manna garden. We produce tons of fresh food. James Ranch, all the city markets, Home Slice, Albertsons. It's coming in the door from all the help that we have here in Durango.
And do you take all the things that come in and then create your menu from what you receive?
Yeah, so every day it's different. It's kind of based off of what you have.
That's a challenge, I would think.
Yeah, it is a fun
really
challenge.
Creative.
Especially in the summer where we have so much from the gardens.
The meals that you're serving out of that kitchen are pretty extraordinary. I know when we've gone up to donate some time, I'll eat there with everybody,
delicious.
And it's like, oh my goodness, this is really amazing food. How many meals are you serving in a week, and approximately how many people is that benefiting at this point?
We have an open door policy, so anybody can come in and receive a meal. We don't ask for you to write down your name or show us identification. So through the soup kitchen, the Manna Market on Wednesdays, our Culinary Program, we do lunches for Durango Adult Education Center. We give food to Southwest Safe House, the Durango Community Shelter. So through all the different things, we think we at least touch around 3,000.
That's amazing. The one piece that you mentioned in there that I think a lot of people don't know about is the Culinary Program. Can one of you speak about that and how that works?
Anyone interested in culinary arts and wanting to find a job. Because what we want to do is we want to help people who are lacking in certain skills to get gainful employment. It's a great program where we work with the CRA, we work with local businesses in town, where we teach people life skills, plus then the culinary baking skills.
The goal isn't to create a chef when they come out of there. The goal is to get them a job.
I want to talk a little bit about how Manna started and where you are today. And so I know years ago the woman that passed away and she died of hunger at the fairgrounds and had written in the stall of the barn there that nobody cares.
Correct. Yeah.
And that just like breaks my heart.
So that was in 1985. So right after that, a concerned group of faith-based citizens got together and started doing a soup kitchen out of each church's parking lot. So through the years, it kind of got passed to church. But then from there in 2002, we were fortunate enough that the city granted us the land that we are on now. Everybody who was a supporter of Manna, they raised enough funds to build that original building. And then in 2014, we built the Culinary building, which houses the culinary school. Yeah. And also our administration buildings. And then we also have 2 meeting rooms, which we, if any nonprofits or anybody out there needs space, we welcome people
And
to
they're
use
nice.
it.
They're really
Yeah,
nice
they're
conference
beautiful.
rooms. Yeah.
And I also want to have you touch on the food insecurity component.
It's important for the community to realize that we are exactly not just feeding the transit or the homeless. There are a lot of people out there that work all day long and they still can't go out to eat.
We get to see so many different people of different demographics. So we have people experiencing homelessness. We have children. We have families. Come to Manna and eat, or get a cup of coffee, have a donut, and sit down with our clients and hear their stories, because they'll help you better understand why each person is there. In 2017-2018 school year, we did 6,188 backpacks. And that, I think, is such a rewarding program to all of us. And it gives children 7 meals over the course of the weekend.
We're finding more and more depression. We're finding more and more people coming back from the war with PTSD, you name it. I was the person that would drive past somebody who did have a sign up and there would be like, you know, $1 for food, and I would be like, in my mind, it was like, go get a job, you know? But after what I've experienced, there's so many sick people that can't get a job.
How can people, if they're watching this, how can they help you?
However you want to volunteer for Manna. We need help in the kitchen, cooking. We need help doing prep. We want people to just come up and eat at Manna. Come have coffee. You can play chess with one of our clients. That social connectiveness is just huge.
It's really amazing what you guys do up there. Appreciate everything. It's so vast, and I think we as a community really have to cheers you again for everything that you do for the folks that are food insecure in our community.
Yeah. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again for joining us and having a round here at the Bookcase and Barber. It's been a pleasure talking with Seanan and Ann, as well as Beau and Jenna. We are excited to be able to share what they are doing in Durango.
Chris and I have a passion for Durango and all the local organizations that help make it such a special place. We'd love to share that passion with you and hopefully inspire you to get out and get involved in our community and have as many rounds as possible around town.
We'll see you next time for another Around in Durango.